Guys, our friends from NordVPN are on a mission to keep you safe when you're online. With Nord's help, the internet can be safe of cybercrime, theft, and surveillance. Nord is much more than just a VPN. NordVPN's threat protection is going to shield you from malware, trackers, and ads, while their dark web notifies you of any potential leaks or threats. The MeshNet will allow you to connect your devices remotely and securely, and the dedicated IP will allow you to avoid CAPTCHAs and block lists. But my favorite part about NordVPN is that they're privacy conscious. They do not track what you do or share, whether you're sending or receiving anything online. And you will always be protected with a robust encryption. One account can protect up to 6 devices with 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. NordVPN customer service cannot be beat. Become safer online with a single click and the fastest VPN on the planet. Get NordVPN's 2-year plan plus 4 months free when you go to nordvpn.com/Sonnen or click on the link below. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes over to this country. It's a really great story. Doesn't speak the language, has no money, has no job. He's got some muscles. Has no idea how he's going to make money by having muscles, but he's gonna. And this is his plan, and nobody is going to tell him different. Well, except everybody told him different. He goes to Hollywood. He wants to make movies. People tell him, okay, the first thing you need to do is drop the name Schwarzenegger. That is never going to go into a marquee. Not that I can get you in a job anyway, and not that you're going to be starring anybody would want to do it, but just so you understand. In the outside event that something like that happens, Schwarzenegger does not fit on a marquee. Change your name. Won't do it. Won't do it. The whole reason he's going to come over here and become a star, whether that gains him wealth, power, or both, is to represent in a positive light his family and his family name. So the last thing he's going to do is drop that. He has no acting skills. He was not a thespian. He had not been part of drama club. He doesn't have contacts. He can't afford an agent. He doesn't ride around in limousines. I mean, just keep on going down the list. He cannot check any boxes, but remains steadfast that this is what he's going to do. Now, once he finally does it and more, goes on, becomes governor, has a franchise of Terminator after him, coins phrases such as, I'll be back, or get to the chopper, just by example. I mean, think of all the great actors that came through, but they don't have catchphrases. It's like a really rare air that he breathes. And he talked about one of the things that he did very early on is he broke the rules. And he said, don't misunderstand that. I'm not talking about breaking laws. I'm talking about the rules. I'm talking about when there's policies in place. When there's a rule out there that says, I don't get to be in movies because I have an accent. That's not a law. There's nothing that actually stops me. There's no crime there. That's your rule, and I intend to break it. And he had a number of examples like that where he would identify what are the norms, what is usual. He would understand the process so that he could manipulate it. Now, I am seeing this right now in MMA. I'm seeing this right now specifically with Sean O'Malley, who has done a great job from day one of doing whatever it is he wants to do. Whatever it is he wants to do. Like, let me just give you an example. There's some things in this sport that are done, and there's not a whole lot of them. I mean, the primary rule in MMA is we will fiercely adhere to the rules that we change and make up on the spot. But when somebody becomes a number one contender, just for example, it's stated the number one contenders match has happened, the victor, the post-fight press conference, and it is stated. The headlines come out. This guy is next. And in Sugar Sean's case, that's going to be Merab Dvalishvili. Now, to triple down on the statement that I just made, Sean will be boarding an airplane on Monday of next week to go out to Miami, where he is going to defend his Bantamweight World Championship. On that same travel day of Monday, Merab will be boarding an airplane, headed out to Miami, staying at the same hotel, attending the very event where Sean O'Malley will be defending the Bantamweight Championship. Merab will be in the front row. The cameras will come to him. They will talk about Merab, number one contender, watching on. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is, by the way. It's an unusual spot that Merab's in. Merab has done so much. He has made it so clear that he's the number one contender that it does not matter if that opponent is Sean or it is Cheeto. Merab will be next. I mean, try to think of a time where that's happened, right? The matchups matter. So many times or more times than not, when you have a belt that's involved, the belt is a byproduct of the matchup that you sought. In Merab's place, he has made his case so crystal clear that it will not matter. The winner will face Merab next. Okay. Not according to Sean. I mean, look at all those things that are done. Look at all those things that are in place. There is no scenario where Merab is not on that airplane. There is no scenario where Merab is not in Miami. There is no scenario where Merab is not in the front row. There is no scenario where the production team right now does not plan to put Merab on camera and make the statement that he will face the winner of the contest. But O'Malley says he's going to fight Topuria. And it's just an example that I want to bring you guys of not being controlled. It's just an example that will go back to what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. And this was a guy that had no money, no power, no contacts, and no resume in acting that went on to be the biggest star the industry has ever seen. Because he didn't let any of those rules affect him. They were somebody else's rules, and he didn't let them apply. Control is a massive thing. Perception and reality are hand in hand, but I don't personally know of an industry where that statement is more true than this one. I've watched it happen. I've watched people that have never fought before be ranked number one in the world. You think that sounds silly, Chael? That would never happen. Yeah. We've had people that have never set foot in the octagon be the world champion of the octagon. And it came through perception. I can remember in the early days, you want to make a whole bunch of money, you want to be towards the top of the card, closer to main event than not, all you had to do is be in magazines. To be in magazines back then, all you had to do was have a DVD that you sold and post the ad. You paid the magazine to post your face. You were a star. Prior to that, the baddest dudes in the world were guys that had never competed. They were the Bruce Lees, Chuck Norris. I know that Chuck did some crazy things, but you understand my point. Like, it was just through Hollywood. It was just perception. In this industry, it is so wildly important. The only thing Conor McGregor ever sold, and by sold, what I mean is the only thing that Conor has ever brought to you guys that he was fainting was power. He told you how powerful his left hand was. He was telling you the truth. He told you he saw himself as Mystic Mac. He had visions of when he was going to finish opponents. That was true. He did. He told you he was going to go multiple divisions. He did. He told you he could go to boxing and do very well. He did. It was all true. The only thing he didn't have that he claimed he had was power. It was an extremely important part. Let me give you guys a great example. A death nail. A death nail to getting a title shot is to say the following words after a win. I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait for my title shot. I have earned it. I deserve it. I am not going to do anything else but the title shot. That is a death nail. Why? Because it just gave you all the power and it just took the power away from the bosses, and they would never let that happen. It's the same rule. Same reason if I invite you to my house for dinner, you don't come in and then tell me what we're having. I can't let it happen. If I ask you what you would like to have, this is a very different conversation. And it's one of these things that guys don't understand, think, but I've earned it, but I deserve it, but I won all of these matches. Yeah, I got it, but then you publicly tried to take the power. When you came out and said, I will not do anything except this, I will sit until, when you did that, I must now remind you in the same way that you tried to do it to me, which is publicly, that you're not the one with the power. It's a game. But it's important that you understand it. And Sean O'Malley, who is playing at a different level than everybody else, Conor McGregor's days are dwindling, if they even still exist. Only Conor would know that. I've fallen for it. I don't think he's done. I think he's got one more. But I could be wrong. I mean, guys in this sport, the second they are done, they're lucky to be signing autographs at a booth at the county fair. Their popularity and their value is directly tied to them being in the UFC. So when you have a guy like Conor, I mean, let's say Conor really is done. He's never going to come back. What a masterful job he has done. He is still number one. He's still got the longest line at that autograph booth at that county fair. And the one thing that he did is he sold power. And I share that with you because when Sean O'Malley is going after Ilia Topuria, you got to clean out your division to go fight for another belt. Oh, by the way, the guy that's belt you're coming after, he also has had to clean out his division. Neither one of them has ever defended once. There is nothing that would stand any reason that they are going to fight next. But it's been stated that Merab gets the next chance, which is why it's important that O'Malley keep a different conversation. It's power, which he doesn't have. But he's selling the idea that he does. And the piece of psychology in keeping people on the edge of their seats and making Merab nervous. And Merab sending texts, hey, I've got this fight, don't I? You said. Getting assurance and reassurance, working hard and then working a little bit harder instead of taking his foot off the gas. These things don't just happen. They're done by design. There's a reason O'Malley is the sport's top draw.